Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is All Aboot Candles. Let's just get right into it. I have a review for you today from Yankee Candle. This is Bayside Cedar. It was an alright looking jar. I'm still mourning the discontinuation of these glass signature jars. I've decided I'm gonna switch over to the 22-ounce tumblers once I can't get a hold of these anymore. The picture's okay. The wax was a really pretty color, but I've got to say that overall, I think I found this fragrance somewhat underwhelming. And just as a candle in general. Now, that might be because it is following the heels of two Yankee candles that I just discovered this summer that I really liked, Catching Rays and Lakefront Lodge. And so I started burning this one after two Yankee candles that really surprised me and I really enjoyed, and I had been meaning to try forever but had never gotten around to it, and my expectations were met and they had strength and throw. And so then burning this one was just a little bit of a bummer. There is a scent story, my dears, and I'm gonna do a dramatic reading of it for you. This is a fresh and clean fragrance, a walk along the forest path right after the rain with refreshing notes of grapefruit, mandarin blossoms, and warm amber filling the air. I feel like that little scent story is super misleading. I would not call this a fresh and clean fragrance. I'd call this sort of like a briny, oceany, woodsy fragrance. And that grapefruit on top, I have come to learn in the last couple Yankee candles I've had, Bahama Breeze kind of being the epitome of this. I have come to learn that I really don't like most grapefruit notes, especially not the grapefruit notes that Yankee uses. I've burned a beautiful grapefruit candle before from Homeworks. I can't remember what the name of that one was, but I really enjoyed that. But I've come to realize that grapefruit and mandarin as top notes are not always jiving with me very well. And there's definitely something on the top of this candle that I just am not a huge fan of, but let me get into the full scent notes for you, because we've got top, mid, and base notes. The top notes are grapefruit, bergamot, and green pear. The mid notes are mandarin blossom and water lily, and the base notes are amber, cedarwood, and musk. And so, you know what, for me, those top notes, the fact that there's grapefruit, bergamot, pear mixed with like the lower base notes of like an amber, cedarwood, and musk, I guess that's what makes this candle what it is and makes it unique. But for me, this fragrance would be much better off without those top notes. I feel like those top notes just don't really make a lot of sense with what this candle is trying to do. Bayside Cedar. I just don't know if grapefruit is a Bayside Cedar type of situation with bergamot and green pear. Bergamot I kind of get why it would be in there, although I'm not really picking up on it. But I definitely get a little bit of a mandarin floral situation. Water lily I'm not picking up on. I feel like if there is lily in this, it can't really compete with the other scent notes in there. But honestly, I feel like if we were to just take the top notes, the grapefruit, bergamot, and green pear, I feel like if we were just to take those out of this candle, I'd enjoy it a lot more. It would be just more of a really nice, woodsy, musky, ambery, sort of like mid-range vibe. But this candle doesn't really feel like it knows what it's supposed to be. It kind of comes across to me as a bit of an experiment gone not terribly well. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm not upsetting anybody. If you really like this candle, comment below and let me know why. I mean, fragrance is so subjective, you guys. This one wouldn't be a repurchase for me. And, you know, moving on to performance, it was not a particularly strong candle either. I actually just blew out my sort of last burn of this candle a while ago, which is why it looks like it's been freshly burned. I've been having a lot of wick traveling issues with the Yankee candle. And so I always kind of stop them with, you know, almost an inch left. The wick nickels just started to travel too much, and the whole thing had liquefied, so I feel like most of the fragrance oils have been released. So I called it a day. Strength and throw was not great. I mean, it got pretty lost in my more open area. I'd say maybe, you know, searching for it, I would give it a 5 or a 5.5. I did definitely smell it more when it was in my bedroom. It stayed in my bedroom for a while, and I think it maybe got up to a 6 in a hurricane, in a medium large space. And so yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure I would have wanted it much stronger than that. I hate to say it, but this one was kind of just a miss for me on all levels. You know, if it had been stronger, I probably would have disliked the fragrance even more. But for any of you that might be thinking about purchasing it, I can tell you, strength and throw is not good. It burned pretty cleanly. It burned pretty nicely. There is a little bit of soot and smut. I did notice it sooting a little bit after the halfway point. The first 2 burns on this candle were pretty much a write-off. I didn't smell the first 2 burns at all. And I am noticing that with, you know, a lot of the Yankee candles these days, you need to be in the mid-range with really nice deep wax pools to get what you want out of it. A hurricane kind of helps hustle that process, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like I should have to work so hard to like a candle. No complaints about the cleanliness of the burn or anything, just this one just wasn't for me. But you know what? That's just fine. Let me know what you think of this candle in the comments below if you've ever burned it. If you could give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. And subscribe to my channel, for crying out loud. Why haven't you subscribed yet? Pretty please. Thanks so much for joining me today, folks. I really appreciate it. Until next time, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, folks. Bye now.